What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about something that I think every crypto investor needs to be aware of in regards to the coming days, weeks, and months that are left in this bull cycle. I don't believe that the cycle's over. I know some people are calling, it's not a large majority, but some people are calling for the cycle to be over with this double top. I've heard like 5 double top calls this cycle. None of them have been correct, you guys. We're not done with this cycle at all. What do I know? This is my third bull cycle. I invested in Bitcoin for the first time in 2015, and I've been in crypto ever since and honing my TA skills since then. We're probably not going to do TA in this video, but the purpose of this video is to discuss how you are your own worst enemy and how to avoid losing money and how to encourage yourself to make money the easy way, if there is such a thing, in this space over the coming days, weeks, and months. Okay, so if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. All right, we're at a point now where things are getting very exciting. Ethereum's about to see new all-time highs. Bitcoin is at new all-time highs, and it's about to see new all-time highs too. XRP is at new all-time highs, about to continue on to new all-time highs as well. We're at a point in the market that's very exciting. You've got all your top cryptos doing well, and altcoins are about to rally. The fabled alt season is about to start, and the worst thing that you can do, that some people probably already do, or if you haven't done, you might be on the verge of doing, is getting in your own way. How do you avoid getting in your own way? Well, it goes like this, right? A lot of us in crypto, the majority of people invested in crypto aren't invested primarily in Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP. They're allocated to a more diverse portfolio of altcoins. And for a long time, that's kind of bit you in the ass, so to say. But that doesn't mean that it's going to forever. And the worst thing that you can do now is looking at XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, seeing new all-time highs, and Ethereum's not at new all-time highs yet, but breaking out and doing what it's doing, selling your boring coin, your altcoin, the coin that you've done your research on, you've invested in for quite some time, selling that coin for these exciting large cap coins, which are going to do well, they're going to make money, and they're going to grow. Absolutely, they will. But the worst thing that you could do right now is sell your boring coin for the exciting coins. And it might not be Bitcoin, Ethereum, or XRP that's exciting. There might be other exciting coins that are going on, but you've done your research. You've made your bed for 6 months, for 2 years, for 3 years, since the last bull cycle. I don't know your story, but you've been preparing for this moment that is coming for a long time now. If you're like me, you've been preparing for this for a very long time. The worst thing you could do right now is mess it up, right? As I like to say, you've made your bed, so lay in it, okay? We are our worst enemies in this situation, in this kind of environment in crypto right now, where certain things are popping off, but not everything's popping off. It's meant to distract you. And we can be our own worst enemies because buying something that's just pumped and selling something that's boring, you set yourself up for a situation where you get shiny object syndrome. You're buying the thing that is pumping, so it's already realized a good bit of its potential in the pump. It might even correct. It might come down a little bit, and you're selling the coin that's being boring that hasn't pumped yet. What if you buy the coin at the top, whatever coin it might be, it corrects or it stalls, and then your boring coin finally catches up. It does its thing. You know what I mean? The worst thing you could do is get shiny object syndrome, right? That's kind of the first thing that I wanted to talk about. And in moments like this, the main message there is sit on your hands. Don't do anything. Don't stress about the markets. Don't stress about what coin's popping off. Why is my coin not popping off? This, that, the other. Just be patient. Alt season is coming. It's happening. We are on the forefront of this happening right now. And Ethereum doing what it's doing, XRP doing what it's doing, Bitcoin doing what it's doing. These are all the foreshadowings of every alt season that I've seen, right? And again, this is my third bull cycle here, so I've seen 3 alt seasons, right? Nothing has compared to the 2017, 2018 alt season. That was nuts. But we're going to get a very, very, very intense alt season. Now, it's been prolonged, it's been put off. I do theorize that this alt season will be more intense to a good effect than the last alt season was. This is going to be probably potentially the last great alt season that we'll ever see. The worst thing you can do right now is mess it up. So don't mess it up. Let your things play out. That's point 1 that I wanted to address, okay? Point 2, talking about messing things up, avoid leverage trading, all right? The worst thing you could do right now, especially if it's your first cycle, even if it's your second cycle, even if it's your third cycle, maybe for most people, 90% or more, the worst thing you could do is leverage trade. Leverage trading, typically 90% of people who do leverage trading lose money, okay? It might even be more than that. There's some people that make money, and that's good. You know, if you've got the gift, if you've got the eye, if you have the experience, most likely, then you know how to do it, right? And the worst, and if you want to talk about leverage trading, or if I want to talk about leverage trading, I guess let's talk about it real quick, okay? The worst thing you can do is try to be in a leverage trade every single second of every single day. You don't need that. Be patient. Let the setups come to you. Let them come to you. Let them be so obvious, right? But if I wait for that, I might get like one trade a week or one trade a month. Yeah, that's the point. Be in a safe, assured position where all your indicators are pointing to the same direction and you can get in at a good price. Maybe even when you think about getting in, long or short, wait, you know, but the main and then once it goes past that point, then you get in. But the main point that I'm trying to get here is being missed because I'm actually talking about leverage trading. I'm trying to say, do not leverage trade. Don't mess it up, right? Do not mess up the coming rally. The worst thing to do would be to get shiny object syndrome, or even leverage trading might even be worse, honestly, because you're trying to make money, you're trying to add to your funds, to allocate to more altcoins or add to your backs before this explosive run comes, right? Maybe you've made some bad plays and you're trying to make up for it. The worst thing you can do is try to catch up. If any of you have lost money in this bull cycle, which I've heard some people tell me that they have lost money in this bull cycle, my head instantly goes to this thought of how, but then I remember my first bull cycle. I understand exactly how. You're doing all these things that I'm talking about right now. You're trying to make up for your losses. You're leverage trading. You're looking for coins that are pumping right now instead of sitting on the coins that you've planned for, that you've done research on, that you've actually got conviction in, and you're buying into these pumps and chasing things, right? Stop it. You don't need to do that, right? We're in crypto. You don't need to leverage trade. Things are going to give you a 10x, a 100x if you just sit on your hands and let it come to you. The average altcoin, and we've done analysis on this several times, the average altcoin is intended to do something of like a 20x or more between now and Q2 of 2026, okay? If the cycle ends in Q2, it might end Q4 this year, but somewhere between here and there, right? It's August now. It's like the middle of August now. Crazy, actually. That's already the middle. We've got September, October, November, December. We've got like 4 months at a minimum. But we're likely going to go into, that's my baby crying if you guys hear her crying. We're likely going to go into, I would think, Q2 of 2026, right? This cycle is a little bit different. It absolutely is a little bit different. Every cycle people, and this is my third cycle. Every single cycle I've heard people say, this cycle's different. This cycle's different. Guess what? Last cycle, it was different in the sense that it had a double top, but it wasn't different, right? Timing-wise, no, it wasn't different. The cycle before wasn't different. Everything followed that 4-year cycle. I do believe 4-year cycles are going to continue to persist just because of the halving. That's a very serious dynamic for Bitcoin and for crypto as a whole. I understand that most of the supply is out, so some people theorize that it's irrelevant, but it's very relevant. The total supply, right? Like imagine if all the gold in the world, except for 10% of it was mined, or even like 2% of it was mined, but then that supply that is getting mined every day gets cut in half every 4 years, that would have an impact on the price of gold. You know, it's the same thing. And even if most of the supply is mined, it's going to have an impact. Fundamental laws of economics is supply and demand, you know, and the supply getting cut in half every 4 years. I digress. That's not the main point that I'm trying to portray here. But what I'm trying to say, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say, I'm getting distracted because I'm hearing all this noise. I think my 3-year-old is harassing my wife and my newborn. What I'm trying to say is that this cycle is different. This cycle is different, right? I've seen 2 bull cycles now that have performed exactly maybe not exactly, but they rhymed with the prior cycles, especially in a time format, maybe not in an overall growth format, but in a time format. This cycle is 100% different. And when I learned technical analysis in the very, very beginning days, the first thing I learned was that good structure allows for a cycle to persist longer. What is good structure? It's exactly what we've seen this cycle, where you move up in little spurts, you consolidate for a long time, then you move up again, then you consolidate for a long time, then you move up again. We've done nothing but healthy corrections, nothing but very productive and well-structured corrections throughout this whole bull market, you guys. What I'm getting at is I very much do believe that this cycle is different. It's been different, right? Every cycle, it's a meme to say this cycle is different, but every cycle, I've heard that. This cycle is actually, like, we can see it. We can actually see the price action has actually been different. The timing of everything has been different. The halving, we had new all-time highs before the halving. We've had a longer cycle, new all-time highs after the halving than we ever have before. Things are different. We got institutions coming in, governments buying. You guys, it is a different cycle. It really is. The 4-year cycle will always be here, but this cycle is different. And I think people are underestimating it because they're assuming that it's so much like every other cycle. And that what I don't understand is so many people are saying that the 4-year cycle is over, but then they say, well, this cycle is not going to continue into 2026 because that's too long. But why? Why is it too long? If it's up only now, if it's the institutional investments, if the 4-year cycles are dead, why can't we go into 2026? Right? I would never call, and in fact, years ago, I prepared myself for this exact situation, to hold myself back on calling for the cycle to go into 2026. For years, I expected us to top off in October of 2025, October to December. That was the expectation. If you've been watching the channel for years, you know. But only this year, only after all these just ruthlessly boring consolidation phases, have I actually seen it for what it is. This is a very well-structured cycle, you guys. I would be very surprised if we did not continue to 2026. And at this point, I'm thinking Q2 of 2026, it could happen. It could go longer. It really could go longer. I think that that's pushing it personally, but who knows? You know, the super cycle could be here, or it might not be a super cycle, just a prolonged, a right translated bull cycle, and then a left translated bear cycle, which is actually pretty standard. That's and what does that mean? Right translated means it lasts longer. Left translated means it lasts shorter. So in a time perspective, I think our bull cycle, more tame, but it lasts longer. In a time perspective, the bear cycle, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit intense, but shorter, right? But all that to say, we have months and months of bullish trajectory ahead of us. Okay, you've spent months and months, if not years, to prepare for this exact moment. Please do not mess it up by doing any of the mistakes that we've talked about here. Okay. On that note as well, make sure your funds are secure. Make sure that you back up your passwords. You write it down. You put it under your mattress. You put it under your floorboards. You put it in a deposit box at the bank. You store it in your brain if you got that. If you can do that, right? Whatever it takes, be secure, right? Multiple emails for all your different exchanges, multiple exchanges. Don't just have one exchange, right? If you have one Bitcoin, split up quarters of it across 4 different exchanges. You know what I mean? Security and diversification that way as well. All in the same asset, but diversification. And then, of course, just, stay away from leverage trading. Really, really avoid leverage trading. If you've taken losses, if you're not where you want to be financially, if this market has played you a little bit, or maybe you've done it perfectly and you've been stacking and you haven't been playing around at all, but you're just not where you thought you'd be at this point in time of the year, sit on your hands, wait. Everything's going to go up, man. The top 500 coins, everything's going to go. The top 800 coins, excluding random meme coins. When I say random, I don't mean like Pepe, Toshi, Shiba, Doge. There's plenty of other ones that I'm drawing a blank on, right? Turbo, right? There's plenty of other ones that I'm drawing blanks on. Bonk, all those ones. Those are fine, but like random ones that just came out last month or like this year, maybe don't invest in those. Those ones excluded. The top like 1,000 coins, everything's going to move up. So just sit on your hands. Don't worry about what every other coin's doing. The average altcoin is going to do something on the lines of a 20x or more. And then last but not least, my friends, there's something else that I wanted to make you guys aware of. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll share this. I might do this in a different video because we've already gone over so much right now and it's kind of different. So yeah, I might save that for another video. Anyways, be patient. Get out of your own way. It's really easy to make money. One of the most successful crypto investors that I know personally, he doesn't stress about this at all. And he's taught me how to do that. And the reason why I don't stress about the bull market, the reason why he doesn't stress about the bull market, and the reason why we make money is because we don't play this game. We're not playing this game. And I do leverage trade, all right? But I've got some experience and I don't leverage trade my life savings away, right? That's not what I do. The more money you have, the more losses you're going to take. The less money, and the more money you have, the more money you're going to make too. But it's all about risk management at the end of the day. And it's about that stress-free risk management. You want to put yourself in a situation where you're not going to be emotionally charged. So stay away from leverage trading. Just sit on your hands, right? Be cool. Let the market do its thing. And if you're holding some winners, which at this point in time, you You should know what the winners are going to be, right? We've got a lot of time in this cycle so far. The coins that are going to outperform the average altcoins, they've made themselves to be known already. Just sit on your hands and be patient, right? Don't worry about what other coins are doing. Don't worry about it, right? Your coin might be dumping this week, but it'll pump more next week, right? Be patient. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.